Being an Instagram influencer is a dream for many people, but in 2018 there are a lot of fakes out there. And if you are paid an influencer to advertise your product or your service, there is a chance that you may be throwing your money away. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use a simple process to determine whether an Instagram influencer is real or fake. To find out how to do this, just keep watching.
4, 3, 2, 1. And I'm back for the third time, and the motor on in the turbine. A lot of people that have heard rhyme, but really I prefer mine.
What's up everybody? Taps here. I hope you are having a marvelous day. If you're new to the channel, then welcome. This is a place where you can learn all about social media, e-commerce, drop shipping, and how to apply sales and marketing psychology techniques to build your online brand. Now, there are a number of ways to determine who has fake followers and who has real ones. I have seen a number of people throw their money away using influencers that are not legit, and it is truly painful to see. I've put together a simple 5-step approach that you can use to check if an influencer is legit before you start working with them. This way, you know you're not throwing your money away. So I'm going to jump straight into step number 1, and that is to evaluate their engagement rate. It's easy to jump to conclusions by looking at follower numbers, comments, and likes. Now, don't get me wrong, these can provide some very useful insights, but they do not determine everything. In order to truly understand these, you need to consider the rate of engagement. Now, we're going to jump into my computer and I'll show you what I mean here. Now, for reference, the average engagement rate on Instagram in 2017 was 2.7%. This is mainly driven by larger accounts, but a general rule is that if you're doing more than this, then you're doing pretty well. For example, this account has thousands of followers, but only a few likes or a few hundred likes per post. So what this says to me is that we need to take a little bit of a deeper look and go into their followers and consider their engagement. If you look at somebody's account, click onto their followers, and then down here, if you scroll down, you can see that a lot of these followers of theirs don't have profile pictures. This is a big red flag, so take a look and click on it, and what you'll probably find here is that they are following heaps of accounts, thousands of accounts, and then their followers are very few. They'll also have, no photos posted of their own, or very few that mean nothing. So this is what you need to look out for. You can also check this by scrolling through the likes on a recent photo. If you have a look at the accounts that have liked the photo or commented on the photo, click into them, and quite often you'll find that they have no profile picture. They leave short one-word comments that don't really add anything to the conversation, and if you go into their profile, they'll have very few number of followers, but they'll be following thousands of accounts. So to summarize my first point, look at how many likes they get per photo. This should be at least 2.5%. Now, this is just a general rule, accounts will have more than this if they genuinely have good engagement. This is just a very basic example, but as we go through some more examples, you'll better understand what I mean. Now, step number 2 is to check if their community is active. The community is a key component when evaluating a potential influencer profile. Your goal here is to make sure that a real conversation is going on between the influencer and their community. This means that the majority of comments coming from their followers are not random 2-word spam comments or a whole bunch of emojis. They actually add some value, and they add a contribution, and they start a conversation. And above all this, you need to check that the influencer is actually replying to them and being genuine, adding some conversation there. Ask them how they're doing, answering their questions, and they're not just liking or saying thanks or putting very generic responses to any of the comments. Here's an example of good engagement. As you can see here, the comments sound like they're coming from real people, and the owner of the account is replying just as a real person would. This is not rocket science. You just need to check that it looks like a real conversation is going on, it's authentic, and there is genuine engagement there. Now, here's a bad example. If you see that the comments on the post don't actually talk about the post, or don't even talk about the wider context of the post, then you can safely assume that this has been made by a bot or some type of automated spamming program. Now, if you're a marketer or you're running a dropshipping store looking to use an influencer, paying somebody that has an audience of bots is absolutely pointless, because it's not going to bring you a return on your investment. Now, there are exceptions to this. Of course, some big accounts are they're doomed to attract some bot spam and some fake interaction, and just saying that doesn't automatically make the Instagram influencer fake. However, you will be able to get a really good gauge on the influence of an account by the chat going on in the comments section. Step number 3 is to check their follower growth. Now, the same rule applies to follower growth as it does to account activity when it comes to likes and comments and things like that. If there is a very sudden spike in followers over a 1-day period, then they are definitely not real. Likewise, if there was a sudden and significant drop in followers over a 1-day period, this could be the result of Instagram starting to clean out those blacklisted accounts, so all of the bots that were following have now been deleted and therefore they're losing those followers that they purchased. If you see this, keep in mind bot accounts cannot be influenced, fake engagement cannot be monetized, so walk away now. Now, of course, it is possible to gain a lot of followers legitimately and organically in a short period of time. However, ever since Instagram changed its algorithm and stopped posts from showing in chronological order, this has been very hard to achieve. The general rule here to follow is that the growth should be steady and consistent. Now, keep in mind, it's not just about numbers here. If you have an engaged audience of 500 people, that's going to be worth far more to you than 500,000 bot accounts, which are going to be worthless. This is why there's recently been a spike in micro-influencers being so popular, because quite often, smaller accounts in the range from 5 to 50k followers often had a far more engaged audience than bigger accounts do, but that's another story. Just like many things in life, quality beats quantity when it comes to Instagram followers. Now, even considering this, some of the craftier Instagrammers are catching on to this trend, and therefore they're starting to buy followers in small batches. 500 followers here, 200 there, 100 there, and they're doing this to avoid suspicious peaks and pits so that people don't actually cotton on to what they're doing. This is why it's so important to look at the quality of engagement like I spoke about before, because if your prospective influencer's Instagram page looks like this, then the chances are you are dealing with a big fat phony.
You know who lives in this house? A great big phony! That's right, a phony lives here! A big fat...
Now, step number 4 is to simply run a Google check. Like most questions we have in life these days, a quick Google search can probably give you everything you need and more. So whatever Instagram account you're looking at, search the name on Google, or search the name of who it belongs to on Google, and have a little snoop. This will give you an idea of their authority outside of Instagram, which will also give you a good idea of whether or not you should collaborate with them. Do they have Facebook? Do they have Twitter or YouTube? Or are they on Snapchat? Take a good look at their earned media value. What this means is look at their shares or their mentions or their backlinks and shout outs from other influencers or other brands, because if there are other people out there in the web engaging with this person, then it just increases their chances of being legitimate. Having a good Instagram is not the be-all and end-all that determines someone's online influence. Having authority on other platforms as well can be very useful, especially for influencers that are collaborating with your brand. Now, for example, a YouTube channel which I frequently watch, Charisma on Command. These guys have over 1 million subs on YouTube, yet if you look over here at their Instagram account, they only have around 10k followers. This isn't because they're fake on Instagram, this is because they've put all their work into YouTube, and that's where their biggest following lies. So the take-home message here is that if you're still in doubt after checking their engagement, Google may have all of the answers that you need. Now, step number 5 is something that I would recommend doing regardless. So this is to simply reach out to the Instagram influencer and ask for some proof. If you're putting real time and energy into promoting something, you're going to want to know how well you did. Given this, any good influencer will have a backlog of data and analytics that they can provide to you to demonstrate their abilities and show that the previous brands that they have worked with have had successful promotions by using them as a medium. Even if this is as basic as how many new followers the brand gained from the shout out, or how much traffic was generated to the link, or ultimately how many sales did the brand make by working with this influencer. So just keep in mind that when you're seeking out an influencer, it's you that they need to impress, because they want the money from you to promote the product. So make them work for it and check that they can get you the results that you want. If you check off these 5 points before collaborating with an influencer, you'll be able to guarantee that they are legitimate. Now, if you do this, you massively increase your chances of getting more sales and more engagement and running a successful promotion. You still have to negotiate the price for the shout out and you still need to plan the promotion, but at this point, you can be happy knowing that you're working with a legitimate and authentic person. Now, as you know, I'm all about bringing value to you guys, so I've gone ahead and I've put together a Google document, which is linked in the description down below. And in this document, there are notes on this video, so if you want to work with an influencer, just take this with you and you can go through and check off the step-by-step process as you go. Now, which part of this video did you find most interesting? Was it how to check the engagement rate of an influencer? Did you know about fake influencers? Have you had any experiences with them? Drop me a comment down below because I'd love to know and I'm really curious if this has affected other people before. If you got anything from this video, I would really appreciate a thumbs up and for you to consider subscribing. Thank you for watching. I cannot wait to see you in my next video, and until then, hey, cheers mate.
4, 3, 2, and I'm back for the third time, and the motor on in the turbine. A lot of people that have heard rhyme, but really I prefer mine.